Hello everybody, welcome to SSD's Most Magnus. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the new Formula 1 helmets that LEGO just announced, because there is one thing that makes these helmets kind of interesting. So because of that, I thought it was worth it to make a video talking about these helmets. So let's get into this. So, on May 1st, LEGO is going to be releasing two Formula 1 helmets, where basically these are supposed to be brick-built versions of Formula 1 helmets that certain Formula 1 drivers wear when they're driving the Formula 1 cars. And the two sets that have been revealed so far are set number 43014, the Scuderia Ferrari HP Charles Leclerc helmet, and the other set number 43022, the Scuderia Ferrari HP Lewis Hamilton helmet. So here's the thing. LEGO has been producing these types of helmets since 2020. You see, back in 2020 we got a couple of Star Wars helmets where they were basically brick-built versions of helmets that certain Star Wars characters wear, and we even got one for Marvel superheroes, and then in 2021 we also got a couple for DC superheroes. But here's the thing, for the past couple of years, LEGO has only been producing these helmets for these three themes. However, this year LEGO decided to release a Icons helmet, which was basically Sauron's helmet from the Lord of the Rings, because Icons has been producing some sets based on the Lord of the Rings recently. However, now we are actually getting to Formula 1 helmets, which are kind of interesting. So let's really quickly take a look at both of these helmets. So first of all, I do believe that the visor piece that these helmets have are unique to these helmets. I don't think I've seen those visors on any other set, so they might be new, but maybe they have appeared somewhere else and I just don't really know. But of course you guys can tell me down in the comments below if you think that if the actual visor pieces are new or not. But anyways, as for Charles' helmet, his helmet is basically red at the top, and he has some white at the bottom, which I do think is kind of a unique design. However, Lewis's helmet is completely yellow, which is actually kind of interesting to see, but I do still think that it does look very cool. And now, both of these helmets are basically identical to each other. However, Charles' helmet actually has two more pieces than Lewis's, so technically there are some small differences with the builds, but I can't really tell the difference. They are really just the same helmet, but just with different colors. But now let's move on to the most interesting part of these helmets, which is the fact that these helmets actually include minifigure interpretations of the two drivers. You see, the helmets that we've gotten in the past do not include minifigure interpretations of the actual characters that wear the helmets. You're really just buying the helmet itself and nothing more. However, the Sauron helmet actually included the Sauron minifigure, and now let me tell you guys something. The Sauron minifigure was originally exclusive to the Barad-dûr set, which is a very expensive set. And it is the first Sauron minifigure that we had gotten, so because of that, this minifigure is very, very rare. However, with the release of this new helmet, the minifigure is actually the same from the Barad-dûr set, so because of that, the price of the minifigure may go down a bit, but I do think it's kind of interesting how they decided to include the Sauron minifigure. But now, these Ferrari helmets actually include the drivers themselves, which is interesting because the Speed Champions cars that we got last year actually did not include any real-life drivers. They were just generic drivers, like most Speed Champions sets. Now, if I would have to guess, I think the reason why the Speed Champions cars did not include the real-life drivers is because maybe they didn't get the rights to use the drivers' likenesses or something like that. But then again, we have gotten some Icons cars that do include real-life drivers. So those drivers are older drivers, of course, but it is interesting to see that these helmets do include the real-life drivers. But now, I do actually kind of believe that you have to pay a little bit more for these helmets just because of the fact that the helmets themselves include the real-life drivers. So basically, when you buy a set, you're also paying the drivers themselves because their likenesses is in the sets. But that is just a little theory that I have. But now, here's another big question. Will we get more of these Formula 1 helmets? Because there are a lot of drivers in Formula 1, of course. So would it make sense for LEGO to produce more? Well, I do think that they might produce more, but I don't really know as of now if these helmets will sell very well. We'll just have to wait and see once they become available. I mean, maybe people will just buy these for the minifigures, but that's just a theory that I have. But anyways, that was basically it for this video. I just wanted to look at the new Formula 1 helmets because I do think it is kind of interesting how these helmets include the real-life drivers. And now let me know down in the comments below if you think it's a cool thing that they decided to include the real-life drivers. And now also, it would be interesting if future helmet sets actually include minifigures, because that would definitely be an interesting change for these helmets. But we'll have to wait and see if our helmet sets in the future will include minifigures, or if they're just testing the water to see if including minifigures with these helmets is actually worth it. But anyways, that's it for this video. If you liked this video, make sure to leave a like and make sure to subscribe to this YouTube and hit that bell notification button so that way you'll get notified whenever I upload a new video. So that's it for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.